Peace, beautiful people. So I saw a video a few minutes ago. It was a podcast video. These guys were talking and they were discussing Chris Brown. And they were talking about how the question was, if Chris Brown had never physically abused Rihanna, would he still receive the hatred that he does to this day? Would he still receive the amount of jealousy, envy, attacks that he does today if he had not physically abused Rihanna? I have an unpopular opinion about this. My unpopular opinion about it is that he absolutely would. So there's a thing that I call Judas energy. Just like in the Bible, right? The energy of Judas is the energy of hatred, the energy of envy, the energy of enemies that see you shining, they see you brilliant, they see you confident, they see you doing your works, and they have no idea who they are on the inside. They have no idea what they have to offer this world. And so instead of focusing on that, they focus on how they can ruin your world, what weapons they can use against you. So if Chris Brown had never physically assaulted Rihanna, he would absolutely still receive the same amount of hatred that he does. There's a lesson behind this. Stay tuned. He would absolutely receive the same amount of hatred that he does because he's still confident. He's still extremely talented. He still shines no matter what. He still continues no matter what anybody says or does, no matter what weapon is formed against him. His brilliance is so bright. His brilliance is so bright that it irritates people. It irritates demons. And so the lesson that I got from that is that when you come into this world and you live in your purpose, when you shine so brightly because you have done the work to dissolve the bullshit, you have done the work to dissolve the heaviness, you have done the work to shine no matter what comes your way, you will always be confronted with Judas energy. When your aura is brilliant, when you're really passionate about removing the bullshit and you know what you're here to do, you're always going to be met with Judas energy. I think that Chris Brown's story is an excellent story of persistence in a world where everybody's shooting bullets toward your direction. Everybody uses all your skeletons in the closet. No matter what you do, no matter how many years you've overcome it, as long as somebody feels threatened by your presence, they will always dig those skeletons out the closet, no matter how irrelevant they are to anybody else. And what that means is that you always have to be prepared. You always have to be prepared. Remove the need for validation. Remove the need for other people. The need for other people to say how amazing you are and how much you've overcome. Because you're a child of God. You're a child of God no matter what anybody has to say about you. And because you are a child of God, you are constantly forgiven. The only person that holds you back is you. The only thing and energy that holds you back is shame and guilt about what you've already been through. But it's already gone. It's already overcome. It's already done. Now all that's left is brilliance. Now all that's left is love. And whether you tap into that or not, you have the free will to do so. But if you don't, you will be weighed down by the shame and the guilt that you have within yourself, which will also make everybody else's opinion about you so much louder than what God has to say about you. The world has so much more Judas energy than Christ energy. We're not talking about religion. We're talking about principles. We're talking about energy. The world has so much more Judas energy than it does Christ energy. And when you decide to be in the energy of Christ consciousness, you will shine. Oh, people will attack you. You will attack you. At first. The reason Christ had to go off for 40 days, 40 nights, whatever he had to do to isolate himself, because he was being attacked by his own demons. He was being attacked by the adversary. You have to develop the weapons within you to be prepared for what the adversary has for you. If once you become okay with everything that you have ever done, once you are able to dissolve the shame and the guilt, nothing externally matters. But if you're not willing to face what you've already done, what you've already overcome, then everybody else has a weapon to form against you. You put down your own weapons. You have the brilliance to shine. And that light in itself will dissolve so much of the bullshit. And you have to be courageous enough to stand in that, because you've already overcome. You have to acknowledge that you've already overcome. Because those adversarial energies, those energies that want to make you feel bad about yourself because they feel bad about themselves, they will always be there. Oh, and they'll get louder. Because how dare you have the audacity to shine? How dare you have the audacity to stand in your power? They'll get louder because you're irritating them. Because they don't have it themselves. They haven't acknowledged it themselves. So no matter what you do, no matter how long ago those skeletons came out of the closet, you better believe the people that know about those skeletons, that feel the type of way about you, they're going to bring them out. Are you prepared for those skeletons? Are you okay with those skeletons? Because as long as you are, there are no weapons. But if you're not okay, there will always be weapons against you. It is a very unpopular opinion. However, I'm okay with skeletons. I'm okay with going against the flow. I'm okay with anybody digging up any of my skeletons and confronting me with them, because you better believe I have attacked my own doubts, my own insecurities, my own worries over and over and over again, to the point where they are nothing to me. So if you have something to say, you have criticism, you have judgment, your judgment means nothing to me, because I have already attacked myself. And I wore those lower parts of myself down to the point where that voice is minimal. And that is the energy that's needed to maneuver in this world. Because as long as there is misery, as long as there are evil, there are ways to get to you. How brightly do you shine to where those ways are non-existent? Those ways do not matter. That is the resilience that's needed in this world. So I started off with that example of Chris Brown because I think it's an example, a divine example. I don't care what anybody thinks about what the man did or did not do. I chose to see truth. I chose to see an extreme version of a human flaw. Human beings fucking up and overcoming yet and still. And that has been amplified. That situation has been multiplied, amplified for a reason. It's for you to look at yourself. Not to add more weapons to that man or anybody else that's been in abusive situations or any type of situation, because we all abuse ourselves. Actually, ultimately, we're abusing ourselves. It wasn't amplified for you to add to the millions of other people judging someone. It was amplified for you to look at yourself. Look at where you fuck up. Look at where you make mistakes. Look at where you abuse yourself and abuse other people. And make it right. Make it right. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter what anybody says, as long as you're okay with what you did, or you're giving something. Either way, you got to deal with that. And once you deal with it, now you can measure and say, I'm okay with it because I dealt with it already. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, because I've already used the weapons against myself. And the weapon against myself is the strongest weapon there could ever be. As long as I no longer have any weapons formed against me, neither can you.